Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm glad to have you here talking some RSL with your boy Ash, Raid Shadow Legends. Seriously, guys, those of you who do tune in to, not every video, no one does that, right? No one does that. RSL.
Engage.
Panic mode. Engage.
No.
For those of you who do tune in on a regular basis, I appreciate you. You know, I say it all the time, but I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day. It really is, it's freaking cool. It's freaking cool to talk about a game that obviously I enjoy with like-minded individuals such as yourself. So relax, sit back, grab your favorite beverage. I'm rocking a exciting water. Not only that, but the Good and Gather version of the water. I think this is a Target brand.
This video is sponsored by...
Water is life.
That's apropos of absolutely nothing. We were gonna do the best and worst legendaries in every single faction, like the best legendary and the worst legendary. And then the good news is I got to looking and I'm like, dude, there's a lot of good legendaries and there's not that many bad legendaries. So it really doesn't work, honestly. I remember like way back in the day, I would do videos on the best legendary in every faction like years ago. And now it's just, it's like, I mean, look at this. Bannerlord's our first faction. I mean, you could say it's Staltis, you could say it's Marichka, Taurus, Baron, Raglan, Septimus. It just depends on what you need. Quintus. It depends on what you need, what you're looking for, right? So it's stupid and pointless to say this is the best champion in the entire faction. But we can say worst, because there's not that many bad champions. And Plarium, I know you're watching right now, you Plarium game developer, you. I appreciate you watching too. Hey, go in there and mess with the code. Give these champions a buff. They're overdue. What do you say?
Is that gonna cost me?
Let's go to this, guys. Bannerlords. The worst legendary. I think you guys, I'm gonna say you know what I'm gonna do? Every faction, I'm gonna say who I think you guys would say, and then I'm gonna say who I would say. Is that cool? You guys, I think, would say Richtof the Bold. Not all of you, just the majority, I think. I don't give it to Richtof the Bold. I give it to Manaya. Manaya actually looks really, really cool. Like, aesthetically, very cool looking champion. But to me, she's only really usable and good and worth investing in if you have Coronar on the same team. And who has both those legendary champions? Not that many players, right? Anyway, she's got a continuous heal on the A1. She's got a single target attack with a heal reduction on a single target. Wow, yay! On a 3-turn cooldown. 10k heal on the ally with lowest HP. Okay. Much rather an AoE heal or something like that. She does have an AoE heal, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown. She got an AoE heal here on Beauty's Allure. And then a block debuff for 2 turns. That's not that bad for a 4-turn cooldown. Wait, they have to be under increased defense. Oh, you mean the buff that she doesn't have in her kit? Awesome. And then the passive is really good, but it's fills the turn meter of all allies by 20% when this champion is killed. Cool, on a 4-turn cooldown. Hopefully she's not dying, you know, more than that on a 4-turn cooldown, but revives this champion with 75% HP if Coronar is on the same team. Yeah, that's it, guys. Base stats are good on this champion. The aura is good on this champion, but I have to be real. She's, you know, C-, like not atrocious. But who's investing in this champion and why? There's better healers that are epic, frankly, right? And that's the litmus test for me. Richtof, at least he's dealing a bunch of poisons, you know, 3 poisons on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown. So I'd rather have Richtof personally than Manaya. High Elves. I think this will be, I would love, you know what I love, guys? I love those of you who take the time and go into the comments and give me feedback on every choice. You don't all have to do that. It's not required. After all, I'm not your dad here. But I would love to hear what you guys think of this, because I think this is going to be my most controversial choice. You guys already know where I'm going with this. High Elves. I think 99.9% of you guys would probably say Pixneal. I can't talk anybody into Pixneal. No one will believe me. I don't think she's a great champion, to be clear. She does require 15 legendary skill tomes to max out. 15. And look at them, all going to damage on that A1. That's ridiculous and stupid. But she does have a perfect veil. She does have increased defense. She does have continuous heal on all allies. She does have 100% freeze on a 4-turn cooldown. And she does have a pretty nifty passive after her buff, okay? So she used to really be awful. Now she's just like, I would say, average.
Eat dirt and die trash.
I don't even hate Shiramani, but she's my choice. Shiramani requires 10 books, so 5 less than Pixneal. That's the only real big category that I would give Shiramani the nod. On Shiramani, she's got 100% freeze too, with some turn meter fill on herself on a 4-turn cooldown. Similar, maybe a little bit better to Pixneal's A3, but very similar. Her A2 is a single target heal, and a continuous heal on targets with full HP, and AoE heal 20% on all allies. So you get a decent heal, but you don't get the increased defense, the continuous heals, the cool passive, all that extra stuff that you get from Pixneal. So again, they're kind of close. Neither of them, in my opinion, are super trash champions, but I would give it to Shiramani. I think that a lot of you guys are probably saying, no, Ash, no, we'd give it to Alexander the Sharpshooter. I don't think Alexander the Sharpshooter is as trash as everybody else in the world does. He's got an AoE decreased defense, a weakened conditional, and then he has a Born to Win, which is a remove all buffs from target, and it's a lot of damage on a single target. Listen, is he that great? No. But, you know, an AoE decreased defense, weaken against Ogryn in Orcs, and some damage, I feel like at least he kind of serves a role. I don't know. Maybe he's in the conversation, let's be real, but I'll give it to Shiramani. I would still, on my mini account, I would max out Alexander before I would max out Shiramani, but it's kind of close to be fair. Sacred Order! It's definitely 100% without a doubt, dude. I don't even know who would be in contention. I guess Galicia would be in contention, but Rashkard, he's kind of useless now, unless you don't have Helikath and all and every other champion in the game, Demitha, and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm actually going to go a little bit of a curveball here, guys, and I'm going to go with Supreme Aethel. I got her, and I remember when I pulled her, I remember my reaction. I was like, dude, these reviews are way too low on this champion. Way too low. She's not that bad at all. To get an AoE, ignore, strengthen, ally, protect, unkillable, 100% freeze on a 3-turn cooldown. She's got this extra turn ability where she's giving herself all these buffs. Are you kidding me, man? No way. The bummer here is even with all these freaking buffs, she deals like no damage. She hits like a wet noodle, man. That's not cool for a Void Legendary, nor is it cool for the Void Legendary version of Aethel, the starting champion, man. I think I'm probably grading on a little bit of a curve here because I'd probably rather have Supreme Aethel than Rashkard, but I think we should hold our Voids to a higher standard. For that reason, I'm giving it to Supreme Aethel. I was so disappointed in this champion, and I was actually really excited when I pulled her. But boy, I was going to make a video talking about like, hey, I was excited, now I'm disappointed. But the disappointment was so profound that I was like, I'm not even going to waste anybody's time making this freaking video, and she's not good. All right, Barbarian time. I was not a big fan of Jetney, but I'm not going to give it to Jetney. I think most of you guys would probably give it to... This is a tough one in terms of the popularity here. But either way, I'm going to give it, maybe you guys would give it to Rath-Matab. I'm kind of an Altan hater. I do think he's been power crept. But you know what? At least he deals some damage and has an increased defense. I'm going to give it to Rath-Matab. He has a provoke, AoE provoke, not too bad. But you know what? There's a dime a dozen epic champions with a 3-turn 100% provoke nowadays. Skoramis, Rockbreaker, just a few. I mean, there's even rares, Gnarlhorn, you know? So he must have something really good to make up for that being the highlight of his kit. Well, he's got to increase resistance and a reflect damage on a 4-turn cooldown. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. So I'm going to give it to Rath-Matab. I would never invest in Rath-Matab unless you just want to have some fun. And of course, there's a case to be made with all these champions just having some fun, messing around with an off-meta champion. More love and respect to you if that's your case, but I would not invest my hard-earned resources into Rath-Matab. And I think it was like a guaranteed champion or something like that too. It's a shame. It's a shame. Ogryn tribes. Man, they need to release some more Ogryns, huh? I mean, God. This area looks especially naked compared to the rest of the legendaries. Anyway, I think most of you would give it to Gerda. I have to be real with you guys. I would have given it to Gerda. I would have. But then I had YST come on the channel and he's talking about like, I mean, go watch the video. YST, Ash, Gerda. He uses Gerda like everywhere, and he makes a strong case for her. I'm actually going to give it to War Mother. War Mother's not that bad. She has an AoE, placing 2 bombs that detonate after 2 turns. She has another AoE that instantly detonates bombs if this champion's under an increased attack, which she usually is. The problem is she's not the best arena bomb champion, and bomb's also not really meta right now. It's a little bit creeping up in there with Stone Skin and stuff, but it's not really. I could name, you know, a bunch of bomb champions I would rather have before War Mother. That being said, in PvE environment, she can definitely dish out some damage, but she would be my choice for the champion I wouldn't want to have out of these. I just feel like damage, you can get it like so everywhere in the game, right? I feel like Drakel kind of gets a bad rap too. He's increased attack, increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, and then a kind of okay shield. I'm going to give it to War Mother. Lizardmen time, guys. Lizardmen. So, now that Vergamcar is good, who am I going to give it to, guys? Who am I going to give it to? I think I'm going to give it to... This is maybe unfair to say, but I'm going to give it to Basatha. First of all, he looks pretty cool. And his kit's not that bad, right? He's got a strengthen, continuous heal, a shield, but they have to be under these debuffs? That's kind of dumb. Just give us a shield. And then he has an AoE stun. Okay. He also has kind of a cool passive, stuns somebody when they're revived. The problem is like, again, this is like same old, same old. First of all, he's not like, you know, an AoE on a 4-turn. It's not a 4-turn, the stun, you know? I mean, nowadays with champions like Ragash coming in with a 3-turn stun and everything else in the world, or Astralon coming in with a 4-turn stun but a ton of damage on top of it, Basatha just hasn't found a spot in any niche at all in the game. He's a Doom Tower hard champion that takes you like 2 years to get. By the time that you get him, seriously, you're gonna have so many better options. So I'm gonna give it to Basatha in Lizardmen. Skinwalker time, guys. Oh, say no more. I don't care who's here. I do care who's here. I'm not a big fan of Lucia, Great Hoof, but still she, in my opinion, I'm sorry, every time I say this, people get mad at me, but Hakorn freaking Smash Lord, bro. He's not a bad champion. He is. He's a bad champion.
We pretend that we're good.
He wasn't back in the day when there wasn't that many cleansers in the game. He has a 4-turn cleanse with a heal. Guess who else has that? Mausoleum Mage. And the rest of his kit's way better too. He has a sacrificing his HP to do damage that can't be critical. Nah, dude. Nah. I know some of you guys like Hakorn. There's a Hakorn Smash Lord fan club that watches my videos, and they always get mad when I pick him. But some things never change. Hakorn, the tragedy here is he's a cool champ. Like, he looks cool. He used to be pretty decent. It's a very... Plarium, hello, Plarium developer? You again. I'm talking to you, game designer. Just go in there and change this to a 3-turn cooldown and all is good. Very viable cleanser. If Reliquary Tender has a heal and a 3-turn cleanse, then gosh, give it to a legendary, please. He does have block debuffs too, but it's not it. Not on a 4-turn cooldown. I would not invest. There's so many cleansers in the game now, and block debuffs champions for that matter. I mean, Sylvan Watchers is like chock full of cleansers and block debuffs. If you don't have one now, you'll get one later. Pass on Hakorn Smash Lord. Give that dude a buff. Orc time. Dude, it's again, man. I probably would give it to like somewhere in this neighborhood over here. People give Robar a bad rap. Maybe I just have like something in me that likes decreased defense and a lot of damage champions. Same thing for Abyss, excuse me. Same thing for Alexander. I kind of have a soft spot for those type of champions, and Robar has a ton of damage. I'm not against Robar. I'm a fan of Robar, actually. I'm going to give it to Angar, man. You guys know how much I hate Angar. Some things never change. Again, on Angar and Hakorn, I feel like those I've been saying their names for years now, and the worst. Angar is a Void Legendary. Oof, if I pulled a $4 Void Shard and I got the legendary, and actually I have had this moment several times, and I got the legendary animation and Angar popped out, I would be very angry. Okay, sorry about that. We have a provoke on the A1, yay. An AoE provoke on the A2 for 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown, yay. And then if enemy with provoke attacks has a chance of placing another provoke on them, yay. So he's provoking a little bit. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's not Void Legendary status for me. No way. No way. I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's an HP-based champion. Doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage. Give him something else. He has counterattack on himself. I mean... At the very least, can we give him a passive that says all allies receive like 30% less damage on enemies under provoke if he's going to be a provoke specialist, or every time an enemy under provoke attacks this champion, he places a decreased defense or something extra on him, you know? I mean, like, champions like, again, like Skaramis, I mean, he's got AoE provokes, 100%. He's got counterattack on himself too. He's got turn meter still. He's got an AoE, decreased duration of enemy buffs, chance of placing decreased attack, filling his turn meter for each buff that has its duration. Like, come on, man. This is an epic, by the way, an epic, you know? Yeah, Angar is just, I would not invest. All right, Demonspawn time, guys. Demonspawn. We have, Demonspawn's pretty stacked, I gotta say, man. I gotta say. Even the damage dealers, like Krutrax's, she's pretty dang good. I actually like Vassal of the Seal. He's not bad. His reviews suck, but an AoE True Fear, decreased attack, and a really good heal with an extra turn ability. You can do a lot worse than that, man. I'm gonna give it to... This is probably the toughest for me. It's between Lord Shazar and... Yeah, I would say maybe Count... Nah, I like Countess. Lord Shazar, I guess. The thing with Lord Shazar is, like, he's got that juicy best arena aura inside the entire game. He does have an AoE bomb. I love that it decreases the detonation by 1 turn, but if the attack is critical, then you have to build him with crit rate. But I don't know. I mean, like, very niche, right? A bomb champion for some niche arena teams. That's it. So I'll get to Lord Shazar simply because, you know, when I'm grading these champions, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, I'm really looking for champions that just don't have many use cases in the game, you know, assuming that you've been playing for a few months at least, you know. Undead horde time. Guys, we gotta give it to Siphi. She's been power crept, man. Siphi, I would never, ever invest in this champion. She's just like, after they turn this from a 3 to a 4 turn cooldown, no use. What? I'm kidding. Did I get you? I got some of you guys. Some of you were in the comments. How dare you, the stupidest YouTuber of all time? It is Elagaius, of course it's Elagaius, man. Elagaius, I don't care how you say his name, he sucks either way. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna spend any time talking about this champion. Even after his buff, man, this Ghost Rage ability, it doesn't read that bad, but I mean, he's removing 2 buffs, decreasing turn meter by 20%, a further 10% for each debuff removed. I mean, think about it this way. It reads like, okay, that's not that bad, Ash. That's not that bad. But then, like, I don't know, compare him to, like, Nethril right next door. He's got a decreased turn meter by 75% on a 4 turn. Then he's got stuns. Then he's got, I mean, like, come on, man. I think that Elagaius is really bad. Dark Elf time. Dark Elf. Oh, man. There's some really crappy Dark Elves, ladies and gentlemen. Who do I want to give it to? I'll tell you who I want to give it to. This freaking dude. Ultan of the Shell. I think he's trash. I have him. I maxed him. I tried. You know, you ever try to talk yourself into a champion? Oh, come on. He's not that bad. Removes debuffs from this champion. Heals this champion. Shield on this champion. Like, such a selfish ability. Finally attacks 1 enemy after all that. Okay. What is this? An AoE sleep. God, it's a 2-way tie, guys. Ultan of the Shell and Chromax Moonblood. Chromax. Ugh. Attack 1 enemy with a block buffs. Yay. An AoE provoke on a 4-turn cooldown. Whoa. That's awful, dude. Awful. Man, listen. Even like Astrolith, way better than those champions. Who else would even be in consideration? Vizier, way better. Rule, way better. Queen Ava, way better. That's right, Queen Ava, the champion I'm always asking for a buff for. At least she's a fantastic campaign farmer. At least she can excel in one area of the game. Champions like Chromax, forget it, man. A free-to-play player, if you handed a free-to-play player a maxed out Chromax Moonblood, fully booked out, I bet in a month after they stopped, you know, salivating after getting a free champion, they'd be like, yeah, probably not gonna use them, you know? At least Queen Eva you would use. Night Revenant time. I have a special hatred for Narma, but Let me just see. Let's see the playing field here. There's a lot of bad champions in this game. Not that many. Fortis, I kind of actually like. He's not good, but I kind of like him. You ever have it? Do you have any champions like that? They're just not that good, but you're like, I like Fortis. He's cool. Anyway, actually, everybody else is pretty good. Bystofis is like the most deceiving champ. I should give it to him just because when you see the 1800 base attack and you don't know about a thing called multipliers in this game, you must be thinking that you hit the lottery when you pull this dude who doesn't do any damage. It's really one of the shadiest things that Plarium has in this game. It's low-key, having these massive attacks and they don't deal any damage. Either way, though, I'm not going to give it to him because at least he has 2 AoEs and he's bringing a bunch of debuffs. Narma the Returned is actually really good for like early and mid-game clan boss. I grant you that. I don't think she's a trash champion. I just think that her real use is clan boss, but they keep adding, you may have noticed, Myosilic, Priest Ornn, Dark Kale. They keep adding epics who arguably are just a little bit better than her. And when you have a bunch of epics in your legendary that do what you do a little bit better and your use is niche already, that's when I start to tune out, you know? She's got this 4-turn cooldown, 3 poisons and poison sensitivity, which is not bad at all. Decrease attack and a heal. Increase the duration of 3 random debuffs. Really not a bad champion for clan boss if you're running a poison comp, but poison comps aren't super meta either. So yeah, she's a champion that, hey, you know, I have faith in you guys and most players. If you need that skill set, if you're lacking like a Dark Kale or something like that, sure, go ahead. But if you play the game for a couple months, you'll have Dark Kale who's better because he has instant activation on top of that, in my opinion. Dwarf time. All right. We get, who am I? Oh, this is an easy one. Easy! Granjar sucks! So bad. He looks cool, first of all. Look at this little dwarf. He's got the hands of flames. He's ready to go. Hello. But he sucks. Chance at increasing durations of HE burn. Okay. Hit one enemy 2 times. Removing block debuffs. Placing block debuff, or excuse me, removing another buff except block debuffs. Well, that's weird and niche. Okay. And then an AoE HP burn for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, he might be the worst legendary in the game, and I'm not even joking with you guys. I mean, his passive must be pretty cool, right? Nah, he's healing himself instead of taking damage with HP burns. And he's putting a HP burn on the attacker when he gets a freeze. Awful. Awful. I mean, there's so many, like, I could name you probably 10 epics that are better burners than Granjar, you know? Like, first and foremost, Skrank, you know? Or if we're going to stick with the Force Affinity, Mordecai. Who wants a legendary that takes 8 years to get? He's a Doom Tower hard champion that has a 4-turn burn. Ugh. Ugh. What a trash champion, man. Oof. Buff him, game designer.
What do you want?
Buff him. Shadowkin time, guys. Let's see. I mean, is it even close? Is it even a conversation? I think it's a conversation, to be honest with you guys. I know you guys are all going to say Jingwan. Wasn't I supposed to guess who you guys would guess every time? Oops. I think Gamoran's actually pretty bad, as much as he's a cool champion. So I actually think the conversation is closer than 90% of you guys. But for the reason that we picked Angar and Supreme Aethel, a Void Legendary should never be as bad as Jingwan. We're going to give it to Jingy. Transfers all demons from the champion to the target on the A1, not too bad. Attack 1 enemy, blah, blah, blah. Attacks all enemies 2 times on a 4-turn cooldown. I don't care what you're doing. If it's a 4-turn cooldown, it's going to be amazing. Strengthen on this champion. How selfish. Give it to everybody, man. His passive is not that bad, but it's a 4-turn cooldown. At the end of each turn, each enemy or ally turn removes CC debuffs and places a block debuffs on them for 1 turn who have debuffs removed. It's cool, and then you have to wait 4 turns to do it again. Yeah, I feel good about giving it to Jingwan. All right, Sylvan Watchers. First of all, it's an obvious choice for me. But I will say that I was very let down by Claydna. Very let down. A Void Legendary. Again, I'm going to review her kit really quickly, and you're going to think to yourself, that's not a bad kit, Ash. Come on, man. But it's a Void Legendary. Like, I'll ask you this. Where are you using this champion, you know? again, I guess like a beginner could use her, but asleep on the A1, an AoE decrease speed, and leech. It sounds not bad, and it's not, but this is a legendary champion, you know? Like, okay. So, no damage there either. There's a heal, which is not that bad, having a heal, right? And then block debuffs and revive on death. It's like kind of close to getting there, but like I want to cleanse on this ability too, you know, for a void legendary. Anyway, I digress, guys. It's Saoirse. She looks freakier and freakier every time I look at her. Like, it's disturbing, really. It was what it is, guys. Hey, can you just turn the other way while we talk about you? Thank you, Saoirse. She's not as bad as Granjar. That's the good news. The bad news is, what do you got to do? Spend like $30,000 to get your hands on this champion? I'm exaggerating. It's much less, but still. An AoE burn. Your reward is an AoE HP burn on a 4-turn cooldown, boys and girls. There we go. I don't get it, man. Who wants an HP burn on a 4-turn cooldown? You know? Anyway, she's got an AoE attack on the another 4-turn cooldown where she's decreasing turn meters of enemies under HP burns by an extra 15%, so 30% is the best we can hope for. She does have this passive, and she has a 30% chance when booked of instantly activate HP burn debuffs on the attacker when she's attacked, which isn't that bad, but when you think about it, there's so many better instant activators. Artak, Theodore, I mean, I could go on and on and on. Walking Tombdrang. These are champions with a guaranteed activation, not a 30%, you know? Instantly activates HP burn, doesn't even require accuracy, you know? So anyway, guys, there it is. Those are the worst legendary champions in every single faction, in my opinion. I actually feel pretty good about this video. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Let me have it in the comments below, guys. Also, do you want me to do a worst epic? Would that even be interesting? There's a lot of bad epics, a lot more than legendaries. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching all the way till the end. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.